Hi, my name is Ice, and yes, that is my real name, as everybody asks me. It is a really normal Thai thing to name your children after fruits, vegetables, animals, objects, things, and Ice is a really common name in Thailand. So no, I didn't just choose it to try and be cool. And it does refer to frozen water. Anyway, I'm here to talk today about what it's like being half Thai. I might actually clip this. Mic check 1, 2. Just exercising in the mouth. Okay, so what has it been like being half Thai? In my experience, this is my experience. So disclaimer, this is just my experience of life. I was born in Bangkok and grew up in a little Thai village in the north of Thailand called Pa. Pa is a small rice farming village, and there were not many Westerners living in Pa during the time that I was born, including my dad. My dad worked overseas and came back. I was one of possibly 2 little lukkungs, which is what we are called in Thailand, which means half child or half breed. Okay, no, half child. I call it half breed. I say half breed. And that's what we're called all the time. And my children are called Samsi, Luk Samsi, which means 3/4 child. So we're just always going to be labeled as our percentage of Thainess or other raceness. I don't know. I don't know what the half or is being measured by, but the 3/4 definitely means not Thai as to what my kids get referred to. I have always found that really quite annoying, but okay at the same time. Look, people in Thailand love fair skin. They love fair skin. If you watch all the soaps and the TV shows nowadays, they're going to most likely choose a half Thai to star in it because they have fairer skin, nicer complexion, thin nose, all these things that Asia seems to be mad about. And I have mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings because I've had mixed experiences. Okay, when I go shopping, if I speak in Thai, back in the day, people used to go, "Hey, you're Thai. Okay, I'll give you the Thai price." And as you know, if you have visited Thailand, there's a Thai price and a foreigner price, okay? And it's not just Falang price, it's any foreigner. So let's not just blame Falangs for everything. And I would be like, awesome, good. You know, I felt a little bit more included when I got the Thai price. Nowadays, it's really, really cutthroat. Like if I don't have my Thai IC with me and I'm going to the Chiang Mai Zoo, they will charge me full foreigner price, which is ginormous. And it is fair enough. I am somebody who am pro like Thai cost and foreigner cost. And it's simply because Thais do not earn what you do as a foreigner, if you're watching this and you're a foreigner. Our daily rate, supposedly now it's around 320 baht a day. It's not going to be able to, it matches the cost of living. So it needs to be lower for local people. I completely agree and get that. And for foreigners who come and visit, thank you so much. When you pay your foreigner rate, it completely supports our businesses and our livelihoods. Okay, the other thing is I definitely got a lot of attention. As in just so many people wanting to touch me, telling me how, you know, or my mum, how beautiful my skin is and what a beautiful half child I am. And it definitely got me a lot more attention. And when we would go shopping or something like that in Bangkok or Chiang Mai, my mum would get a lot of like agents asking me if I was able to do acting and advertisements and things like that. There is like a fair amount of, I guess, attention when I was a child about being half Thai. Of course, we left Thailand when I was 6, and I would have like really rotten teeth, and it would be because I would sleep with food in my mouth. So by the time we had moved out of Thailand and to Adelaide, which is in south of Australia, I had really rotten teeth. I spoke no English. I spoke Thai and Nuer, which is the northern dialect which people speak in Pau, where I'm from. And so English would be my third language. And I thought that kids made a lot of fun of me because I had like rotten teeth. I didn't speak any English. Like, I definitely felt like I had been plucked out of every single thing that I knew. And one thing I found quite hard, I guess, was the culture shock of living in the Western world, coming from living in family, with family. So I am super, super family oriented. I keep in contact with my family in Thailand. I'm always wanting to know how they're going because I lived with everybody. When I lived in Pau, I lived with my mum, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, and everybody raised me. I was running around the village like everybody else, going to school, getting caned at school, getting caned at home, all those things like every other Thai kid. I really feel like I actually identify as Thai. If somebody were to ask me where I'm from, I would say Thailand, because that's like the first thing I ever learned about Earth, being on Earth, is my family's culture and my family and our values and our connection with nature, our connection with the seasons, the cycles, with growing rice, with fishing, with farming, with sharing food. Every time, we go to somebody else's house, it's so normal to bring food to share. And I love that. I'm really actually proud of that. I am so proud of where I'm from and the life that I got to experience. It was a beautiful, beautiful childhood of just freedom and community, which is severely lacking in the West. When I say I'm half Thai, Thais are a huge mix in themselves. Like, they're quite a mix. Like, for me, my version of Thai is just Southeast Asian. Like, my blood, according to an ancestry DNA swab, it's Filipino, Vietnamese, Thai, like Southeast Asian, and then supposedly Thai people, the race itself, is a mix of Chinese and Indian blood. That's what history describes Thai to be as, that filtered down, into that part of Southeast Asia that is now Thailand. And then my other side is Irish, Russian, German, and like Croatian. And so that's another whole mix of like Scandinavian blood in itself. Okay, how do I feel about being Thai now? I feel quite, first of all, sad about it. No, I feel quite sad for Thai kids who are of darker skin, because all these big female movie stars are now quite often lukungs, with, lighter skin. And I worry that it shows this message to full Thai women, full Thai females, young women and children, that they are just not beautiful and not, what's the word? Like they're not good enough because they're not light-skinned enough. And I really, really worry about the message that sends to young girls and young women, because I will often see on billboards, on advertisements, it's a lot about whitening lotion, whitening like roll-ons for your underarms. Who's looking there to see it's white? I worry about the message that this sends to Thai children. Thai women are darker skinned, especially up north where I'm from. They have flatter noses. They look different. And I think there is beauty in all people. All women, all children are beautiful. Yeah, that's something that disturbs me. even as a half Thai. Have to mention is that I have pretty much always felt like I don't belong anywhere. I don't feel like, I mean, when I'm here in Australia, people ask me where I'm from because I'm clearly not Caucasian. When I'm in Thailand, everybody assumes that I'm a Falang until I just start speaking in Thai, because it is my native tongue. It's my first language. And they're all so shocked at how I just sound exactly like a Thai person. And then they'll ask me if I'm a Luk Kung, and I'll be like, yes, ha ha ha. And then I'm kind of like never knowing whether they're going to treat me like a Thai or a Falang. I would just feel so like desperate to belong. I would tell people where I'm from. Like, yes, I'm from Jang Wat Pa, because I just feel like you can't get more Thai than that. There's regions in Thailand where it's like still barely any foreigners visiting. It's still just native as, and we're still doing things the older ways, even though the younger people are kind of evolving a lot more. But the essence of where I was from was very, very traditional village, rice farming village, and I'm also just super proud of that. So when I live in Thailand, or when I be in Thailand, I feel slightly out of place. I feel like when I make friends, like it's almost like they don't really want to get to know me or be my friend, and I kind of never really knew why. And now I guess I wonder if it was because my behavior and my mannerisms are like super not native. Yeah. I don't know. This is what I do. I just sit and I just wonder like why I'm not accepted there. And I would cry about it. I would honestly get really, really, really upset about it. And then when I'm here, I feel like I don't belong here in Australia because this is occupied country. My dad is a 7th generation born Caucasian. That's a lot of generations. But there's still this feeling that like I don't connect to this country, or I feel like colonizer guilt, just simply because it's colonized land, and I really feel for the people who were colonized. Yeah, just this real like, where the hell do I belong? But I do know that I do feel deeply connected to Thailand. Like I would definitely call it my motherland. Whenever we left, we'd go to Thailand for holidays, but whenever we'd leave, it'd be around the 1 to 2 year mark where we would always go back to see family. As I got older, I definitely noticed that if I had not been back to Thailand within 2 years, by the 2 year mark, that's about as long as I can physically be away from Thailand. And by the 2 year mark, I'm just like crying. My whole body just wants to go home. And I think it's because I really deem my grandmother as my home, because my grandmother raised me for the most part of the 6 years that I was young. My grandmother, the village, everybody, aunts and uncles. And she's now gone. But before that, I would feel like I had to go home. And when I did go home to Thailand, I felt like it rejuvenated my soul. I feel like it, I don't know, just topped up my spirit, like rejuvenated my spirit. I can't explain that. But the food, the things I grew up eating, my taste buds are definitely for Thai food. I'm really happy just eating sticky rice and the things we eat in Pair and the noodles and everything. I definitely would prefer Thai food. But there was definitely this feeling of being in limbo. Maybe if I lived there my whole life, I would actually feel like I belonged somewhere, like having established, solid foundation of friends and community there. I don't know. I don't know how other half Thais feel. If you're half Thai, like, let me know if any of this resonated with you or if you felt different about anything. And if you have children that are half Thai, I don't know what you notice for them, what their experiences are. I mean, I don't know if my parents know this is how I've felt. I've definitely also, as like growing up into a young woman and a woman, I had enough people tell me how beautiful I am and how beautiful my features are and how exotic my features are. And I've had a lot of sexual interest because of, I guess, my unique physique or whatever you want to call it. That was something that I was aware enough of that I knew how to use that sensually and sexually. And this is if you're mature enough to actually have a connection with yourself and your own sensuality. I speak about this without any shame. So if this brings up some triggers for you and you want to shame me, just like flick on. I definitely felt like I was able to connect with myself really sensually, and I guess I got enough like verbal and external approval for me to know and realize that I am beautiful. And at the same time as well, I would look at myself and I would hate what I saw in the mirror, and I don't know why. Like, it's one of those things where it's almost like two worlds fighting each other. I have now, as a 36-year-old woman, and this is recorded in year 2024, as a 36-year-old woman, mother of 3 children earthside and 1 in the spirit realm, I am definitely more accepting and loving of who I am and how I am. I'm also really excited to be moving to Thailand in 2025, and I'm so excited for so many reasons. I have not lived there as an adult. My parents worked hard to take me out of Thailand so that I could have way better educational opportunities and life opportunities. And the way that I've gone, because I don't know if it's because of this, but it's because I've lived simply, because I've lived a beautiful village community childhood, community-centered, family-centered childhood, that I want to go back to simplicity. I want to go back to working with seasons, with land, with country, as we say in Australia. That I am really, really looking forward to going back home. I really wish. I've missed my grandmother ever since I left as a child. She was my world. And now she passed away in 2024, which is a few months ago. And I just wish she was there. Because she'd be so happy. Oh my God. She'd be so happy. She'd come and live with us. And be with us and be with my kids. She just would have been over the moon that I moved back. Because that's all she ever wished for since I left. You know, she missed me and I missed her. And in some ways, you know, I feel like I've moved back too late. This decision's been made too late. But it's all happened the way it's happened for some reason. I know she'll be with me and be with us and look after us wherever we decide to live on that land.
I feel drawn to my ancestors there. I also feel drawn to, visit Scotland and Ireland and be connected to my ancestors there as well. But I feel like this move back to my mother country is just, I don't know, it's important on my path for whatever reason. I don't know, I won't know till I get there, but I'm being called home, and I really wish she was alive for this, because I knew, oh my gosh, she'd just be so happy. I can completely get that, I guess, from my parents' perspective, that this, or being in the West, is the land of more opportunity, but I believe so much can be done for Thailand. I want my kids to learn their language. I want my kids to learn their dances. I want my kids to feel that deep feeling of belonging when we do things like Songkran and Loi Krathong, more so the pre-religious acts that we do, and traditions that we follow that connected us to spirits, to country, to land, to river, to water, to soil, to earth, because we originally are people of deep connection with spirit and with nature. And yeah, that's my spiel about being half Thai, my experience.